Hey guys, Monk2 here of course, and today we're going to cover an Amagi that I had. Now, sorry for previous upload, I could not make it in time, just some internet problems and all sorts of family stuff going on, but don't worry, I'll be back to my normal schedule very soon enough. So yeah, that's today's video, and then next, was it Thursday? No, it's Friday. God, I forget now. I'll get back to my schedule very soon, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, anyway, onto the actual ship and onto the actual match. Amagi. I'm going to disprove myself most likely in this game, but Amagi is incredibly hard to play. If you get a good game in Amagi, you can be sure that their enemy is not focused you down, because you're incredibly easy to kill on Amagi. Unless you're heavily angled away at max range and you're using that rear belt, which again, you can see that in my masterclass on Amagi. You can see that has a rear plating that is incredibly thick and incredibly tanky, and if you angle that rear plating towards people, you'll get some really good results. Amagi also has extreme range on its side, not enough for, I would say, like the likes of Iowa or even Bar, but you can see that plating can be effective in bouncing, shattering almost everything, even a Yamato shell. But that being said, in practice, the whole ship is coded in 32. If you're shot at by Yamato, you're likely to get citadeled or at least done in horrifically bad, because realistically, if you're going to get shot at by Yamato, you're going to be shot at range, and it's just going to go straight to your deck rather than your plating. And even if you do angle, they could just go right for your stern or your bow. You know, as I said, the whole ship's coded in 32, which also presents another problem. HE pens you everywhere, including the superstructure. Even without 32mm pen, it hurts quite bad. Anything that has 32mm pen can absolutely murder you. Your build kind of forces you to run a cannoneer because you need the extra range, so you're also set on fire more often. Yeah. It's just simple as that. The Amagi is incredibly weak to HE. Again, if you don't angle 100%, I mean heavily angle, like the angle I've got right now, is not enough to stop a Yamato or Jean Bar or anything if the enemy ship was where I pointed my guns there. It's just not going to be enough. Fortunately, there's nothing in that game, nothing like that in the game, so I don't have to worry about that. But if I was, I would have to effectively bow tank, all but the need. This sort of angle would maybe do it, but even then it's not really much. You have to extremely heavily angle in order to get a good result in bouncing shells. Jiggly Citadel from Belfast. Anyway, you know, I've had to do this recording a couple times because I end up going on too much about the Yamato. I'll go on about the game and we'll cover the game after this point. So we've got a cheeky wee shot. Start of the game, you should always be using your range, using your concealment, and you know, being careful about your shots, because if you get broadside to the wrong target, the wrong time, you could eat some nasty citadels or be potential deathstruck. Amagi does not do well against that. One of the few battleships in this game at tier 7 that can be effectively deathstruck pretty easily. Nagato, it's a tier 6, yes, but it's the same point. Vladivostok, Roma, and Amagi is definitely up there. Anyway, we got a cheeky wee citadel on the previous Belfast running away. This Belfast has made a really bad mistake, broadside in front of the whole enemy team, and he's trying to reverse, which means he's a sitting duck. Yep, yeah, that's what you get. And in terms of our positioning, top notch. We are right behind an island, immune to being shot at. Nothing here has the capability of shooting us besides this DD. Now, this being said, the DD is the only surviving DD left in their team. So if we kill him, it's really essential for the winning of this game. So we definitely want to break our cover, risk giving a little bit of damage here, because we're effectively giving broadside to these battleships. I don't think they're focused on us, but still, the risk is there. To get rid of this DD, which is essential. Now, we have to turn straight away. Our turning has been nerfed on the Amagi. Not recently, it was a year ago. It was pretty harsh nerfs. They give a health nerf, a rudder shift nerf, and a straight damage nerf on its guns. So you need to be very careful by giving broadside, because you don't really have much time to turn, because the rudder shift is not very good. This being said, it still beats like stuff like Iowa or something like that. Belfast, he just dukes the shots. We undershot him just a little bit, and we aimed a little bit low from the looks of those shells. Bismarck is giving relative broadsides here. Not full broadside, but a relative broadside. That is good enough for this. This being said, Amagi does not actually have the best penetration or any decent penetration, despite having the biggest guns at tier 7 at the minute. 16.1 inch guns. Which is, again, the biggest caliber gun. Bigger than Iowa. Biggest thing we have, except the Yamato, of course, which is the 460mm guns, which are 18.1 inch guns, rather than I know that like the Americans and all that, they use different measurements. So the Americans are flat 16, 406. The Japanese are 410mm guns, whereas the Japanese use a different system. So instead of 18-inch guns, like 457, or is it 4, something like that, they use 460, which is 18.1 inch guns. You know, that's the difference there. Anyway, yeah, because despite that, having the bigger shells or bigger caliber gun, we actually do not get the best penetration on these shells. They are fast though, so that is something to know. Not as fast as the French or the Italian shells, but they are fast enough to note. Obviously the Russians are also faster as well, but they're decently quick, and you have 10 of these guns, and if you manage to fill them all off, you can get some good results on non-broadside targets. That's why you have stealth, that's why you have speed. You are the kiting and flanking, well, you're more the kiting BB of tier 7. You want to be towards the rear of your enemies, and you want to be harassing them with your AP or even your HE given the situation. At this point, Bismarck has so much superstructure health, it's not worth shooting HE. You just want to shoot AP right into his superstructure and get massive hits despite his angling, because superstructures are way too vulnerable in this game. Odin heavily angled, I'm not going to bother. Odin's going to be a real trouble to kill. He's shooting HE, but unfortunately for me, he is bouncing off all the wrong bits. Like he's hitting my turrets, which is fine for me. Though he ever used AP, he'd probably break the turrets. The Amagi turrets are kind of squishy. One of the worst turrets in the game. Yes, we do have 5 turrets, but each turret does hold 2 guns, which is doesn't really make much difference either, really. But all I'm trying to say is that the Amagi turrets are not great. In terms of just tanking, they just get broken very easily. If you want to break a Amagi turret, you can easily break it. Just ABP and pretty much anything you can do. I'm pretty sure Baltimore could break your turrets as well, considering the Baltimore AP is that disgusting. Suzuya could get a death strike here, can we? We had 10,000. 6 over pens and 1 over pen. One pen and 6 over pens. Not bad. We're gonna see if we can take another shot at Suzuya. Just lock our guns and just make sure we get this turn going. Now, I did say before, Amagi is more of a sniper than a brawler. Amagi does actually have the turtleback, and because it has so many guns, you know, instead of the 9 guns most battleships have, like the Iowa, it has 10. Yeah, sure, you don't have the best accuracy, and the AP damage isn't as high as the Iowa, but they're still pretty hard in comparison to other ships like the Bismarck. And you're quite a good brawler in Amagi if play correctly. It does have the turtleback, yes, but you need to be very careful, because if you turn too harshly in Amagi, your turtleback is negated. It's not the best turtleback in the game. It's not like the Bismarck turtleback or even the Jean Bar originally turtleback. It's a pretty darn, it's barely a turtleback. If you turn too harshly, it's straight negated, so you'd be worried about that. That being said, and even if you don't turn, sometimes there's a chance they will still kill you, particularly the American or the French lines. You know, even the Russian lines, again, both have incredibly good penetration. You know, definitely worth it. So, just butchered this Suzuya with the front guns, which is always nice. pick up the high caliber secondaries. Secondaries on Amagi are actually AP secondaries as well as HE secondaries. So they do actually do a fair amount of damage to broadside ships if you're brawling. Obviously they're not going to be a Bismarck, but yeah. Odin, I would not be keeping this amount of angle, just want to highlight that. If it was any other ship, Odin does have the low caliber gun, so I can afford to give a bit more angle than I would like normally. And he's giving the broadside here, so turtleback or not, you're going to take some extreme damage from 10 guns here on Turt. We're just going to finish off the front guns. Nope. Ooh, secondaries then? There we go. Secondaries. So, we've effectively pushed last minute. We've really not tanked that much. We've just tanked a little bit from... Oh, we're going to slow down. So, yeah, we knew those were coming, you know. We've not really tanked that much. We've tanked from the Bismarck secondaries slash Odin secondaries and Odin a little bit of fire, and then we've taken a little bit of fire from Master secondaries. And there's the fire. Yeah, we HE pretty much. You can see we are pretty much full health in that engagement and we've lost half health. Just fighting two ships that we were heavily angled against the entire time. It just shows the amount of HE damage we've actually taken. As you can see, that halo damage there, quite significant. We've only fought 3 ships really that shot back at us. Everything else has been relatively easy to deal with and not really give much of a bother. And I'm going to state that. I'm going to say, you know, this was a good game, yeah, but if they actually focused me down, this could be a lot different. This could be a lot of a different game. I was kind of someone they ignored, which, you know, when you get ignored in a battleship, it tends to have the best results. So yeah, you just don't get focused at all in that game. If you get focused in Amagi, you will have a much different game, very different game. Very hard to actually perform well in Amagi when you're actually shot back at for extended periods of time. In this situation, we actually have the advantage because we have the turtleback, we have a little bit more guns than they do, than the Master does, for example, and assuming we're smart for damage control, well, we're actually kind of lucky with the fires there, so I'm surprised we're not double fired, but we're keeping a heavy angle, so that does help quite a bit. Most of the shells are hitting the place that's already got a fire set. But yeah, we have the advantage here. We've got the health advantage. We've got ships supporting us from behind, and there we go. He's out. That's actually our Kraken as well. So, end result, we actually got a very really significant game here. Really quite fun game here. Pulled off 195,000. Get the Kraken, get the Confederate, close quarters expert, the devastating strike, and the high caliber with 3,300 base XP. Pretty astonishing game. But as you can see, not really much for Dreadnought there. It goes to show you that the Amagi does really well, but when you're focused, it's very hard to survive even as a good player. The weakness to HE, the weakness to AP, and the general survivability or lack of survivability of your turrets can be problematic. But that aspect of the ship is what I like. I like the challenging aspect of the play, and it's rewarding when you do well on the boat. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video as always, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.